Hey there, this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Life topics the way I see them. I'm your host, Neena Perez. I am here to challenge and transform your thinking. No excuses. Let's do this. What's up, y'all? This is Neena. How are you guys doing? I haven't spoken to you in a minute. So I am a little bit nervous and excited because on Monday, so today is already Saturday, July 27th, and on Monday I am going to Tilory, Haiti, and Dominican Republic, and I am going with an organization called the 900 Project, and we are raising money currently to plant breadfruit trees in that village that houses about 7,000 people, and it's a very poor area. They don't have any electricity, no running water, and this organization, the 900 Project, is donating 5,000 trees, and we are hoping to do it within the next year and a half. So we're super excited. I am very nervous because I've never been on a mission trip before, but I am excited about what I will be doing there, and hopefully I know that I'm thinking I'm going to be helping them, but I bet you that they are going to be helping me. You know, sometimes I forget about the comforts that we have here in the U.S., and you know, sometimes when we're bitching and complaining, we don't realize how ridiculous that is to others who don't have all the stuff that we have. Anyway, all of that to say that I did a really great interview with the 900 Project, and so I wanted to bring that to you here today. So here is our very first episode of Straight Talk, No Sugar Added Talk Show. And if you haven't already, go onto YouTube, look up Straight Talk, No Sugar Added, and start subscribing, clicking like to the channel. That way we can grow our audience and bring you more amazing content. So here you go. Here's the show. I hope that you like it. Write to me at hello@Straight Talk No Sugar Added. And also you can go onto the900project.org and you can give money. You can see what they're doing there. You can see how you can get involved. Maybe come with us next year. So here you go. This is our first episode. So we are super excited because I had the most amazing people here. And this is from the 900 Project, and they're a non-for-profit organization here in Connecticut. And I wanted to introduce them to you guys. So with me today, I have Sherry Pacey and I have Tara Kohlberg-Bullock. And they're going to be sitting here with me today just discussing this wonderful project so that you can learn more about what we are doing. So thank you ladies so much for coming. I am excited. You are the ones I wanted here first, so thank you.
Thank you.
And I wanted you to just tell us a little bit about yourselves. Why don't we start with that? So Sherry?
Yeah, like she said, I'm in charge of the 900 Project, and my husband and I have been running the 900 Project since 2012, and we could probably talk about that later on. I'm a phys ed teacher in Stanford High.
Awesome.
And I'm a mother of 2 boys that
keep
are full of
energy. Doing the phys ed. That's why you do phys ed.
So they keep me on my feet.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Tara?
Hi.
Hi.
I am Tara, and I live in the area. I work in the area. I became a part of the 900 project in 2018, so quite recently.
Recent, yeah.
And it's just one of the most exciting things I've ever done, and I'm so proud and honored to be involved in such a great organization. I have 2 kids that are 17 and 15, and my husband as well. We are just excited. The kids and I have been to Haiti and the Dominican twice already.
Oh, I was going to ask that. That's wonderful.
We're just very excited to go forth and
Are the kids going to be involved again as well?
Yes.
Or? Oh,
my
good.
son is planning a trip in August as well.
That's
to come along
that's
with
wonderful.
With us as well.
That's really great. So you must really like it if you're bringing them along, right?
This is probably the 3rd time in a year, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that it started in 2012, right? So how did it start? Why did the 900 Project even start, and what does that mean, 900? Like, what is that?
Yeah, good question. We, my husband and I, we never imagined, even being the leaders of a nonprofit or doing missions work at all. So we were involved with Black Rock Church a high school ministry called Fusion
Okay.
for a few years. And both of us just loved helping the youth and getting involved. And the pastor there, Jeremy Taylor, was always challenging us in our faith. And he was running a missions trip. And he's run this trip previously for about 5 years before we went. And so we just felt led, you know, as a couple.
To the same place?
To the same.
Okay, to the same place,
Yep.
okay.
So it's the same trip that's been, you know, that's still continuing to go on.
Oh, wow.
And so we decided, let's go. It was our just second year of marriage, and we wanted to, you know, be challenged, just like Jeremy was telling us. So our team went. It was about 18 to 20 of us,
Okay.
mostly high school students. I think there were only like 4 leaders there. And we just went, we ministered to children, we prayed in the community, we ran Vacation Bible School, and all
Nice.
this was new to us. We really didn't have any clue what we were doing.
Was this your first time on missions at all?
At
or
all.
At all, okay.
At
That's
all.
interesting, okay.
So, I mean, it's amazing when God is moving very quickly. And we just went, you know, we just stepped out and wanted to do something international and to serve the Lord. And so part of the trip is the Dominican and Haiti, there's a shared island.
Okay.
There's a border in the middle that splits the island into 2. And the leader down there always takes the group to see poverty. And we drive across the border into Haiti. It's
Okay,
about
got
an
it.
hour trip. So we get on like this bus, a bigger bus, and we travel with the 20 of us about an hour to Tilory, Haiti. And we just get out, we look at the poverty. You know, it's pretty much a lot of what you would see on TV when you see those commercials
They're
of
going
kids
through a lot
that are
there in Haiti.
Yeah, kids that are hungry, kids that don't have clothes. There's just so many needs, no
Yeah.
water. And so we got off the bus, we walked around for about an hour. We're
How
just
did the people
soaking it
receive
in.
you?
They were kind of confused, like, you know, it wasn't very often at that time in 2012
That you would get
that-
off the bus
yeah.
and all that, okay.
It was only like once a year
Okay.
for a very short amount of time. And so again, it was mostly just for us to see the poverty, to see it with our own eyes, because there is a power when you see something with your own eyes
Yeah.
that you can't unsee
Yeah.
it. So it's definitely powerful. So once they kind of got the team back, they're like, get back on the bus. We're going to travel an hour, hour and a half back. So when we're on the bus, most of the team, I would say most of us, all had this stirring in our heart from the Holy Spirit, like, why are you leaving?
Right.
Like, you're just going to
Right.
leave them there and go back to, like, America? And we were just, I felt like the conviction was over the whole bus.
Wow.
Everybody was feeling it.
And are these people that have been on this trip before, or were you all like pretty new on
Most
the
of
trip?
us were new.
Okay.
And again, it was just a group of young high
Teenagers,
school
yeah.
kids that, you know, even my husband and I were just very new.
Right.
I was very new to Christianity, and we were new to missions and all this. So we
Right.
got off the bus. I mean, we were floored just seeing people living like that. And the village has about probably 7,000 or 8,000 people living
wow.
there. So
It's a good size.
it's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of
you know,
need.
and a lot of need.
Yeah.
So we were on that bus, and we were
Now you're driving back at this point.
driving back.
Uh-huh.
To go over the border back to the Dominican Republic and just pretty much go on with life. And the group, a couple of us started talking, and then everybody started talking, and they're like, what are we doing? Like, we're just going to leave them there?
Right.
So we decided, and you know when like kids get really excited and like want to do something, we're like, let's go back.
That's bold.
So
That's bold.
we literally just told the bus to turn
around.
And we went back. We get off the bus again, and we go speak with the pastor, because in this village there's not like a government or police or, you know, a president or anything like that. It's
Wow.
just the church. We went to the leader, and we're just like, what can we do? What can we
So
do to help
the
you?
church that you went to, I'm just trying to understand the whole day, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you went back, was this church already a church that was connected to someone, and you guys knew about the
I
church, or you
would-
kind of randomly picked a church when you got there?
This connection is with our connections in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
So our
Okay,
leaders
so got
there
it.
are connected.
Got
We really didn't have much interaction at that point.
Okay.
We do now.
Okay.
We're very close with them now.
So when
since
you
this
went back
trip.
to see him, what was the need?
So we asked him, and you look around and you could see people just so much need.
Right.
But we're like immediately thinking water. They have no water.
Right.
They're thinking food. We're thinking clothing, because a lot of us, we've never seen something like this. Just naked children running all around.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we went kind of with what we thought he was going to say. And actually the top thing that he said they needed were latrines.
Wow.
And
Something you probably would have never thought
I
of.
never thought of
I
that.
would have never thought of that.
I didn't even know what a latrine was. I had no idea.
Right.
And so through this whole process, so the pastor said latrines. He
Wow.
said, if you look around, there's all these UNICEF tents, which were actually like hosts for 20 or 30 people that were suffering from cholera.
Oh, wow.
So there was a huge cholera outbreak in 2012.
Was there like one main river or something that everybody was using?
Yeah, so there is a river.
Okay.
It's pretty much the only source of water they have. Many
that
people
makes
use it
sense.
for bathing,
Washing.
and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah,
And
that
so
makes sense.
before latrines, people were just going to the bathroom pretty much all over the village.
Right.
And there was also, I think one of the big things for them was like the dignity
Yeah.
of
That's
having some
huge.
privacy to go
That
to
is
the bathroom.
Because I'm assuming if he said you needed latrines, then I'm assuming that either only a few people had them or no one had them.
Right.
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 So,
I think they had I wouldn't say the elite people, but some of the people, they have latrines there. And even on the Dominican, there's a lot of latrines.
Okay.
But for me and some of us coming from America, I was like, I don't even know what that is.
Right.
So
Right.
what it is you just pretty much dig a 20-foot hole.
Okay.
It's 3 feet wide, 20 feet deep, which is pretty deep.
That's pretty deep.
And you put a toilet on it, and
Okay.
then we surrounded it with 4 tin walls, which help provide for privacy.
Right.
And just a little lock. So there's no water involved. It's pretty much just an outhouse, but it gives the people dignity. It gave them, some privacy and somewhere to go to the bathroom that helped. And so a few of the things, I know you had asked about why it's called the 900 Project.
Yeah.
So one of the statistics that they gave was that only 100 out of 1,000 families there had a latrine. So they
Okay.
did have some latrines.
Okay.
And so we were looking to build 900 latrines for 900 families.
Got it.
Because they would share them. And so that's our original intention, was to build 900 latrines. And so the team went back, kind of making a long story short, but the team went back and came back to the United States, and we don't really know, but somehow the 900 Project is in my husband and I's name.
Right.
Some of the leaders already had a nonprofit, so
Right.
they gave it
So
to us.
you're next.
So we came back,
That must have
with an
that must have
idea
felt
of-
monumental. Right?
It was-
Because you never first of all, you never even been on the missions trip.
Yes,
which is
never.
Which is hilarious that you would come back and say, no, I'm doing a non-for-profit,
Yes.
right? I mean, you're talking about something that feels huge, right? Because you're talking not just about 900 latrines that you're going to be having to dig somehow or have people dig. Also the finances that come along with that, right? And then to oversee the project, to even think that it happens, that's like a lot to think about.
Yes.
And the people attached to it, right? Because if you've made that kind of promise, and I want to talk to you about that too, like when you spoke to them, did you make that promise, right? Because if you did, now they're looking at you like, are these people going to do anything,
Exactly.
right? So it's now having to be a person of your word on top of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Right.
So instead of relaxing and everything, the whole team brainstormed. What are we going to call it? What are we going to do? Who's going to run it? How much is it?
Yeah.
And I remember just Pastor Jeremy Taylor was like, this is from God, and if you're going to do it, I'm going to run into the ocean, and you follow me if you want to join. Kind of like one of those moments
Yeah.
where you're sold out for God, and it was crazy.
Right.
Trust me, we were thought it was
I can
crazy.
imagine so. I
he
would have looked
took
at you
off-
kind of side-eyed a little bit.
He took off for the ocean.
Right.
And we look around, and everybody just took off. And we ran in the ocean, and we were like, we're
Oh my
doing
gosh,
it.
so you guys were serious.
So we came back,
I
and
thought you were using it as a metaphor. You actually
no, we
literally
literally
ran.
we literally ran into
I
the
thought you were
ocean.
using a metaphor. Okay, so
No,
you literally
so we
ran
did.
into the ocean. Got it.
And then, we just came home, and you know, people thought we were crazy because we're talking about toilets all the time, and we were like, I'm like looking at my husband, we're like,
you
what
had
are
to
we
probably
doing?
learn that, right?
Yeah,
you probably had to learn what does
we
it
had
mean
no
to dig a
idea.
latrine, and what does it
No
mean to put the
clue.
walls up, and what does the toilet actually look like,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm sure it's not one of our porcelain toilets,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
But probably something you have to build, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it
so
was
that's a lot
just-
of homework.
It was a lot of research. My husband did all the paperwork for a 501c3, and I mean, everything just really worked together.
Wow.
And it was just following God's call. I mean, we went on that trip, and trust me, we were just going on the trip. We came back with a nonprofit and started
my
this. So
gosh.
God, He just wants us to say yes.
So I'm assuming that the 900 is the 900 latrines you needed. Did you get to even dig 900 latrines? And how did that even happen?
So we had leaders on both sides.
Okay.
We employed people on both sides of
Oh, wow.
Haiti
Okay.
and the DR. So really, it was also
wow.
providing jobs.
So then you took the funds from here and you give it to the leaders there, and they employed some people to dig these ground, to dig the latrines.
Right. So the only thing is that, like, so when we do a lot of missions, we really focus on giving these people dignity.
Right.
You know,
That's so huge.
because they're people, and
That is
and
so
they have good
huge.
hearts, and they're smart, and we value them. I mean,
Right.
God values them as much as you and I.
Right.
And so
The
we
only
want to treat
difference
them
is that they
way.
were born in a different place.
Exactly.
That's literally the only
So-
difference.
So, you know, you were asking about the 900
Yeah.
latrines, and the latrines. So we required each family
Right.
who wanted to get a latrine to dig their own hole.
Wow.
So if you really wanted a bathroom,
Wow.
you dug your hole, and that proved to us they wanted it, because trust me, it was not easy. I don't even think I could even dig one 20-foot hole.
I know.
So and
You
the
really have
soil's
to
really
want it.
hard there
Yeah.
and stuff. So I remember even stories of 70-year-old women, I mean, digging their own hole because they needed a bathroom. And so we did build 900 latrines. We had help with one other nonprofit organization who partnered with us, Cheerful Heart Ministry. And so it turned out that they actually didn't need 900 latrines. We built 1,286. So there was way more
Wow.
families than we had originally
Wow.
thought. But the good news was that within 3 years, with the partnership of the other organization, that we raised over $300,000 and built the 1,200 latrines, and cholera was like gone. There were 0 cases of
Wow.
cholera.
And you know, not
in
only
the
that, but
village.
to your point, also you built the walls around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you literally gave these people a place to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
but a place to have dignity, and the eradication of the cholera in the village. Like that's incredible.
Yeah,
That's
it was-
incredible. Now, you would
was
not have
amazing.
had that same kind of effect if you would have bought clothes.
Right.
Or you would have bought, I don't know, food, right? Because that would have lasted them a day, 2
Right.
maybe. And clothing rips and tears. And those things are necessary. So I don't want anybody to ever think they shouldn't
Right,
do those
right.
things. You absolutely should do those things. But you went further than that, right? So that's what intrigued me about your organization, is that it just made me feel like you guys were looking at the person and the soul of the person, as opposed to just a quick need,
Right.
right? What is that saying? Like you give a man a fish, he eats for the day, but if you show him how to fish, he'll eat
Right.
for a lifetime,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And not only that, but you employed them, which gave them dignity and now gave them some finances
Right.
too, right?
Right.
So I'm assuming that the families that dug their own hole, are they the ones that got the finances for digging their own
So
hole?
we had all the leadership, so we actually bought all the supplies on the Dominican
great.
side, and we drove them over. Once, obviously there was a lot of planning because there's so many
course.
families, and
Of
we did like
course.
300 at a time. And
Huge.
slowly, I mean, to build that many in 3 years
That
is pretty
is
amazing.
huge.
And so we would bring the supplies from the Dominican Republic to Haiti. So they never really encountered any money or anything. But, like what you're saying about dignity and like just being able
and
to
the
go
supplies.
to the
I mean,
bathroom.
this is probably why they
Right.
couldn't get it done to begin with, right? Because if the supplies aren't there,
Yeah.
how are they supposed to do it?
So,
right?
and I think many of them, a lot of times when we see big needs, I know for Tara and I, when we go, even when we go now, it's so overwhelming because they
still need more.
still need more.
Right.
There's a laundry list of needs that aren't even like needs that we have in America,
Right.
but actual like daily life needs, even just water, clothing, food, things like that. But it's important when we do this work is to always asking first the Lord for his direction,
Right.
but also asking the people that live there.
Yes.
Because we would have came in and said water. We would have came in and said clothes or food. And
Yes.
it's important to ask the people that live
Yes.
there all year long.
I agree.
And so if we didn't contact the pastor, we would have went our own way and maybe not have been so successful.
Yeah, I remember watching something a couple of years ago after the earthquake that they had. And I don't remember which organization, and it doesn't matter. I just remember watching an interview of some of the families that were there, and they had built like these really eclectic, if you will, homes. But the people didn't live in them. And so the reporter asked one of the Haitian families, why are you not living in the house that's built? And he said, did you see that house? That is not even something we would live in. That is not our needs. It's not what we
Right,
need.
exactly.
He goes, they didn't even ask us. They just built these eclectic, weird homes, and we don't know why they did that. And I was like, wow, maybe somebody should have asked them what they wanted first. So it's amazing that you're
Yeah.
even saying that, because I don't think we think that way.
Yes.
People who want to give just want to give what they think you need.
Right.
And there's no harm in that, other than that person may not need that, you know? So you really should ask the person. First of all, I don't think it's a bad thing to ask the person, because
Right.
they know they're in need and you know they're in need. So let's just find out what
Yeah.
the need is, right? But sometimes I think we want to give so much that we assume that we know what it is you need, right? But you would have probably never in a million years come up with a latrine as the give
Yes,
that I have to
exactly.
give these people, right? So it's pretty amazing that that's how it started from from a mission trip that you went to for the first time to just see, you know, just to drive by.
Right.
So if you went in 2012, when did your project actually get started? Like, I'm sure it took some time to raise the money and get that started,
it
right?
was definitely, I believe it took about 6 months to just get the
that's-
nonprofit approval, and that's
yeah.
quick.
Yeah, that's quick.
But fundraising, we came back and we just started with fundraisers. You know, there was a lot of time where the team of the 20 people, I mean, we chose as a team to really sacrifice the way we were living, sacrifice spending,
Wow.
sacrifice, you know, it's not always forever.
Right.
But when you like I said, when you see that poverty, it causes you to either act or to turn away.
Right.
Because you can't unsee that. And so many of us, you know, we are just called to action, sacrificial giving, and just really going for fundraising, and, you know, and knowing like there's just a sense of unity and working together for God.
So how long did it take you then to raise the money that you needed to get started on the very first? Well, you said 300 at a time, right?
We did 300.
Yeah. So how long did it take you think, to get the first initial steps going?
Yeah, I would say, you know, like 18 months. I think we raised like over $100,000.
That's really good.
And then we did hit like a little slow period, and then we continued to try to raise money. And what happened was another organization that does work in the same places that we were in was like, wow, this is such a great idea, and I see the need, and I see that you've already set up. And he definitely helped a lot financially,
great.
and so we just partner together, because
Partnering is important.
yeah, it's never about competition. It's never about
No.
us or our name.
No.
We just want to help these people and to give God the glory. So
There's a lot of great
Yeah.
a lot of great organizations out
For
there that are
sure.
trying to help a lot of people. But I realized that we can go in with like a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, but if we don't have the funds, it's
Right.
very difficult to get it done, right? So did you have like unique strategies or ideas of like how to do this fundraising? Because that's a big undertaking.
it's very difficult.
Yeah.
I know for ourselves and for my husband and I, you know, we really were just, the whole team was really just praying.
Yeah.
I would say that's like the number one
Number
thing,
one.
even for us now.
Right.
Is like if you're trying to do something in God's will and you just pray, doors will be open,
Right.
and we truly believe in that. It is very hard to fundraise. So sometimes with nonprofits, especially being the leaders, you just have to personally sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, sacrifice the way that you live, sacrifice how you spend money, how you earn money, and show by example. But, you know, one other thing is just taking whatever team that you have, like when we work with Tara and other members from our team, is coming together and in prayer, and then just kind of working together, And again, it's the valuing of the people that you're serving, and just being humble and not thinking you're better than anybody else. And one thing that we try to keep the team and all of us under like being aware of is we're not better than anybody else, and we don't do it, to feel good about ourselves.
No.
So it's just it doesn't matter if you're in the limelight or nobody notices.
The truth is that if you were doing it just to feel good about yourself, you would have died out 6 months in.
Right.
Because you feel good about it in the beginning. But if you're willing to stick it out this long, it's not because you want it to feel good.
Right.
Feel good comes and goes is what I'm trying to say, but commitment stays a little longer, right? So I know that that's not the only thing that you guys are doing, right? So I know that the 900 project started with the latrines, and then you guys rolled into, from what I read, also scholarships. Is that right? So
Yes.
was that around the same time that you decided to do the 900 or the 1,200 and how many?
86.
1,286 latrines. Is that when the scholarship idea came about, or?
So we had about 2015 to 16 is when we finalized the latrines. Like, they were all done.
Wow.
And
that was recent, so they probably still look pretty good.
Yes, and
Good.
we use them.
Good.
I'll
That's
take you there. We use them.
At least they allow you to. That's a
Yes.
good thing.
So yeah, around that 2015 mark, I just had my first son, and then, there was kind of a low period. I just had my first son, and then I had my second son, and so it was kind of like, we were either going to fold.
Right.
We did this big project. It was amazing. God moved, shut it down.
Right.
But even throughout my pregnancies and throughout raising my kids, I was like, there's still something there. Like, I just can't. We
Can't let it
just
go.
can't stop. So we still did trips. We still ran trips every summer. Some were big, some were small.
Is this even
And,
while you were pregnant and stuff, or?
I went pregnant once. It wasn't maybe
That
the
was
best
bold.
idea, but using a latrine a lot while I was pregnant. So we were just like, what's something small that we could still make an impact, but it wasn't too big where we couldn't afford it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we just got the idea of scholarships. And
That's so cool. So I'm going to touch on that in just a
Sure.
moment. We will be right back.
Hi everybody, this is Sherry Pacey here with the 900 Project, and I'm pleased to announce our newest campaign. After months and months of praying and fasting and seeking God's will for the village, we knew we wanted to do something to help. But in a village that has so many needs all around us, it's hard to pick one. So we wanted to seek God and His will for the village of Tilory, Haiti. And not only God delivered, He gave us the idea of breadfruit trees. The breadfruit tree can grow in dry, humid climates with very little water. It is called a superfood and can cure world hunger.
Through God's direction and grace, He has connected us with Mary from Trees That Feed. Immediately, Mary was so excited to help in God's vision that she donated 3,000 trees from Trees That Feed. Growing breadfruit will help the local economy as well, bringing jobs, sales, trade, and ultimately hope for the future.
So we're here to announce that we're launching a campaign to raise money so that we can transport the trees, plant them, and cultivate them here in Tilory, Haiti. The trees that were donated to us are currently in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. In order for us to get them to Tilory, it would take us about 12 hours for transportation.
Breadfruit is an extremely fast-growing tree that can bear fruit in 2 to 4 years. A typical breadfruit tree can grow up to 85 feet and can produce over 700 pounds of fruit per year. Breadfruit is a complex carbohydrate loaded in protein and nutrition. This fruit can be fried, steamed, baked, mashed, or even blended.
In a village like Tilory with over 7,000 people, hunger is a major issue. Most kids and adults live off solely 1 meal per day. Even daily activities that are so simple like school, work, or worship are difficult for them because of the malnutrition.
Breadfruit tree is a type of tree that can survive in this hot climate
and with this dry and depleted soil, which is perfect for Tilory, Haiti.
Doing this breadfruit tree campaign, we can't help but be reminded of 1 Corinthians 3, verse 5 to 7, where Paul says, "One plants and one waters, but God gives the increase." And with the 900 Project, we are trusting in our Lord that He will give the increase and that these trees will produce the fruit necessary to sustain Tilory, Haiti.
Hello and welcome back again. I am Neena Perez, your host at Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. So we were talking with the 900 Project, and Sherry was starting to talk to us about how they do a scholarship program at the 900 Project. So please continue. I'd love to hear how that even started, because we already talked about the latrines, those amazing latrines that you already built. And so did the scholarships come in at the end of the latrine project, like you just couldn't let it go, or was it part of it? How does that weave?
Yeah, well, there was definitely I would say a silent period. Probably
with
the
the
year that
kids,
I had
right?
my first son.
Not silent
And,
for you,
yes.
but yeah.
Not those nights. And so we were, again, it was just heavy on our hearts to do something. And as many needs as I've said before, education is a huge need. You know, some families have multiple kids. The first few go to school. The next few don't.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of needs with education, but there's also a heavy need for the teachers. There's a few public schools and a few private schools. The private schools are obviously paid by the tuition that the families pay.
Okay.
And
Is that in the village as well?
In the village,
okay.
yep.
Got it.
And I believe there's 11 schools there.
Okay.
And not every family can pay. So
Right.
in the public schools, where it's kind of like an outside government source of people running it, if the teachers aren't paid, they don't show up.
Right.
So there's many days where there's no teacher and just 400 kids running around and they just go home. And so I'm a teacher myself, and I know the value of education and just empowering people. So we ended up, again, it's a long story short, interviewing people around the village, some that are currently teachers in Tilory, and those people that we could trust. So we actually started with 7. We picked 7 students, and we're paying for their college education in Haiti. I believe it's in Cap Haitian, and they go to college there a few days a week to get their college degree, and we actually just bumped it up to 10 people. And I know Tara's met some of the scholarship students before, and they come back. When we see them every summer, they're just so excited to tell us what they learned.
That's amazing. So you've gotten to meet some of them?
Yes, on our last trip there, they were so excited to tell us what they have been learning. And what was heartbreaking, one story is one of the boys, young man, I should say, that was expressing what he was learning. He was so excited, and he was learning about Thomas Edison. And he lifts his hand up to demonstrate a light bulb, and there was no bulb. I mean, they have no electric there.
Right.
So to
Wow.
them,
That's profound.
it was such an eye-opener for us, and so, I mean, humble for us to look at these eager students learning and about things that happened so many years ago, and they don't live in this capacity whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is humbling.
It was.
Huh? Wow,
We
that's
looked up
mind
and
blowing.
there was no
the
light
things we
bulb.
take advantage
Yeah.
of or don't know, right? Or, I mean, we're sitting here now in a studio full of lights and a TV screen, and it's just pretty amazing that he's learning about something he can't even see and actualize, right? So that's pretty amazing. So when you have these, now 10 scholarship winners, or I don't know how you call it, but do they come together are they all in the same college, first of all?
They're all in the same college, and they all travel together.
Oh, they do?
On motorcycles,
Wow. Okay, and is that a 4-year college like it would be here?
It's 4 years.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're somewhere between 2 and 3 years because once we started the program, they didn't get into college right away. We're also providing the funds for them to have their passports and visas so they could travel.
Oh, got it.
To the college, and even if they have to cross the roads in the Dominican Republic, because Haiti's roads are very bad.
Like intertwined?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So the roads in the Dominican are paved so they can get there a little bit quicker.
Got it. So they have to have their passport in order to go
Yes.
over. And
The
so
border and come back in.
come back
Yes.
there because the
Otherwise,
college is in
yeah.
Haiti.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so these 10 scholarship participants, right? Do you, when you go down, because you said something about going down July, August, right? We're going July and
Yep.
August. So when the group goes, does everybody get to meet them? Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yes,
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
they are amazing, and just to kind of close it out with that, just we know the value of education, and they're all willing to come back to the village of Tilory and teach and use their degree. Excuse me.
You're good.
And many of them bring their books back, and they teach their siblings and their families.
So it expands.
It just
Education
yeah,
expands.
we really feel that.
Well, you can't take away education from somebody, right? I mean, you can take away like food, and you can take away all those things, but you can't take away your knowledge.
Yes.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that there's an amazing project going on right now because you guys don't know when to stop, right? So this is why I wanted you guys here, because I knew that you guys are shaker and movers and you guys get things done. And I am, I have that kind of a mindset where I just want to get things done. And that just really drew me to what you guys do. And then I heard about the latrines and the story, and then I heard about the scholarships. I heard a little more today. I didn't know about all of this. But I want you to talk about this breadfruit tree campaign that you guys are spreading all over the place. I see it on Facebook all the time. I saw it on YouTube. I think I saw Instagram. So it's all over the place, and we need to let people know about this because this is an amazing thing.
Yes.
And something that can change the whole
Yes.
landscape
Yes.
there, right?
Absolutely.
So please tell me about this breadfruit tree campaign that you guys got going
I'll
on.
let the director tell you.
Go ahead,
himself.
director.
We're really excited. We're really, really excited.
Should be. It's
God
amazing.
really put this in our lap. It was just totally him. And I say that because we had no idea how breadfruit can grow, where it can grow. It was just a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting. And what I love about the 900 Project is that God leads and we follow.
So tell me how that, I mean, honestly, I know that, and I just don't even know.
Like, what does that look like?
What does that mean?
Okay.
Now, I will tell you that I am, of Puerto Rican descent,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So I honestly did not even know about
Yeah.
breadfruit trees that we call mapeng in Puerto Rico
yeah.
until you talked about
Yeah.
it, which is really bad. I hate to
Yes,
admit that
yeah.
to all my Puerto Rican
Yeah.
people out there. Really bad about that. But how did you even come up with that? Like, how does someone even say, okay, this is what they need?
So we didn't know.
Right.
That's the most incredible part. And what I really want to reiterate is that it's God's glory. It has nothing to do with us.
Right.
He dropped this in our lap, and how he did it was we were praying and we were fasting. God, what is the need?
Right.
We can ask them what the need is, and that's what I think all nonprofits should do.
Right.
Is ask the people. But when you have somebody on your side even higher than the people, the creator of the
That's good.
universe,
That's
come
good.
on, right? What do
That's
they
good.
need, God? Because they may not know. And through a lot of prayer and fasting, he just dropped a hint in prayer. And the name breadfruit tree just came in because of an experience that I had gone to Puerto Rico and I had gotten sick off of breadfruit trees.
Oh, okay.
And I ate it and I was like, this is delicious, this is amazing. Thought it was a potato, and I ate it. And we go through things in life sometimes and we don't know why we go through them, And I never forgot it because I got so sick because I ate way too much.
Oh, wait. Oh,
And I
that's
was
why.
like,
Okay.
What is this thing? 5 years later, I hear about cholera getting annihilated on a video that the church made. I was visiting Black Rock, and cholera just getting wiped out of
Like,
this
how cool
village
is
in
that?
Haiti.
Oh, my
And I'm
God.
just sitting there like, my God,
So good.
You tell these people to go, they go, and look what happens, And I was just amazed and awed at what the Lord can do with people. So I was like, I want to go on a mission trip. I want to go to Africa. I want to go here. I want to go there. And I met Sherry. Long story short, I go. We're trying to figure out what to do. What's the next step? We're praying, we're fasting, and I'm in the shower, and God's always talking to me in there. And I'm like, God, what do we do? What do we do? And all I heard was breadfruit. I'm like, no, that made me sick.
Right.
And I went back to the meeting, and we had said we thrown ideas out there, and one of the things that was one of the ideas was food, because they're hungry.
Yeah.
And hunger is a major issue with learning, with just living. I mean, you can't do anything when you're hungry.
Right.
And when I said breadfruit, I remember I think it was Matt, Sherry's husband, I think he was like, how do you know it'll grow there? I'm like, I don't. I felt like such a dum-dum, because I'm like, I don't know if it'll grow there. But God said it, and I know it to be so.
Yeah.
So when we met with one of the leaders on the Dominican side, who has an engineering degree, and he works in agriculture, he
Of course
said,
he does.
He's like, how do you know about breadfruit? And we kind of were like, I don't know, this is what we think God said. And he's like, that's the only thing that'll grow there.
Wow.
And I was like, what? And I was like, look at that, And what I'm going to tell you about the breadfruit tree is so awesome. The roots of the tree bind the soil as it grows.
Wow.
So Haiti is known for, when the rains come, the soil gets washed away, the waters get dirty, there goes cholera and all the diseases. There's so much sickness there. Nothing can grow because the dirt basically washes away seed, vegetation, and all that. So when you look at Haiti, it's dry. It's horribly dry. There's no greenery, and the soil's so depleted. The breadfruit tree is able to grow in that depleted, dry soil.
Wow, of course.
And the roots actually irrigate the soil, and to the point of oxygenating the soil so that years to come, other things can grow.
Wow.
It's really quite amazing, because it's not just for now, it's for generations to come.
Right, yes.
One other thing about the breadfruit tree is is a very fast-growing tree. It's one of the fastest growing trees that type of climate can grow.
Wow.
And it bears about 700 pounds of food for these people a year. After 3 years of planting one of these little baby trees, they're getting food.
So
And
every year, after
year.
the 3 years, we'll give them 700 pounds.
Well, it starts out like 100, then 200.
Yeah.
Full-grown
But a full-grown tree will give them
Yes.
about 700 pounds.
And there's so much about the tree that we're learning as God was revealing. Like, the sap of the tree is used for glue, it's buildable wood. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're excited
I didn't
about
even
it.
know about
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And
Now you're just getting a whole economy going
right.
at this
Yeah.
point.
Well, that's the other thing. It's going to create jobs.
Yeah.
Breadfruit dried is made into flour. Not only can you eat it raw, you can also eat it cooked, baked, fried, stewed. You can eat it anytime, whether it's
kidding me?
mature
Yeah.
or very, very young. You can eat it all stages of growth, which is remarkable. And as it's been dried into flour, it's a gluten-free flour that a lot of markets are very interested in,
Yeah.
especially in the U.S.
Yeah.
Everybody's gluten-free. So,
But tell me
not
about
there.
that not bringing like an economy though to
I
them
know.
from
Yeah.
here, right?
So
I
as
mean, we do it with coconut flour and almond
Yeah.
flour
Yes.
and cassava flour.
Yes.
This would be huge.
So this is going to create jobs for them.
Yeah.
And when we presented it to them as the idea that God gave, it was like the reaction was so full of
And
joy.
they probably know
It
this
was
fruit,
awesome.
right?
Oh,
I'm assuming
yeah.
it grows all over the island and other
It
places.
was so received, like, with the most excitement you could imagine.
I could imagine
It was
that.
unbelievable. It was I mean, just they're excited. And
As they should be, right?
Yes.
You're talking about changing an entire region
Mm-hmm.
for real.
Yes.
You know,
For real.
like you're not
Yeah.
just giving them like one fruit and saying, here you
Yes.
go, I hope
Right,
you guys make
exactly.
it through the night.
Yes.
But you're actually giving them work because somebody has to harvest these things, right?
Yes.
Somebody has to look after them.
And everyone
Yeah.
is involved. So it's not just us that are, doing the trees or another organization giving us some trees. It's not just the people donating for the trees. It's them.
Yes.
They have to
They can
harvest
take pride in what
They
they're doing.
have
Yes,
to,
exactly.
yeah.
You have to-
Again with the dignity
Yeah.
thing.
That's huge.
Huge.
Because they're eager to work.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's really humbling just to walk in those streets. The first time I went, I remember Sherry had asked me, what do you think? And I was just overwhelmed because there's something that sets into you that you really realize as a follower of Christ, we are spoiled brats. I mean, we are really spoiled brats. Church meetings, church buildings, you know, who's who, and, you know, leading out in worship. We're not hungry praising this awesome God. And it was so humbling for me to see people in that type of need to be lifting their hands for rain, you know? I remembered I asked Chris, one of the guys that went with us on the trip, such an awesome man of God. I said, what are they drinking for water? And he said, they're waiting for rain. How do they eat? How do they live? He said they wait for rain. And these people are praising God. You know, not for new cars, not for, you know, houses and more money. They're praising God just because breath is in their lungs. And I just thought it was such a humbling experience for me, but there is an overwhelming experience when you come off of that bus and you're like, where do you even begin?
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's like not only the weather and the heat and the lack of clothes and the sickness, but the smell.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something you don't really see
You're
on
not prepared
television.
for, right?
Like, you can watch these things on television.
But the
and be
problem
like,
is we can click it too on television. I mean, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
You start to go, oh, click.
Yes.
Next.
You know, we go to that show we wanted to watch. It's a different experience,
Well,
which
as-
I've never
yeah.
experienced.
As to
I'm
what
one
you
of
were
those.
saying, though, about fundraising, and this is something that just came to light with really talking about the 900 Project and really going out there and just speaking about the need. You know, people are aware. People are very aware of, we have media that we've never had before, we have YouTube. People are aware. People just cut that awareness very, very short.
Yeah.
And that awareness is out there, but the desire to give and make change, that's the part where we ask people to just like open their hearts up and give and understand that we are living in such luxury, and just a little gift of whatever a month or just one time, I mean, people need that to live.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're getting Starbucks, you know?
Right.
People really are starving.
Yeah.
People are really sick. There's really wounds that stink and smell. And as somebody who claims God, we need to be responsible for what we know. You know, that's something that is really resonating with me as I talk about the 900 Project, as I go out there and just speak on it, because I feel like people are over aware. It's like, where are the hearts of people, just as human beings, but God
And
followers?
you know,
Come on.
I think I think what could be is the over awareness, meaning
Yes.
over having too much
Yes.
information, right? Sometimes with the same thing as going and seeing all of these needs and like, what do I do with all of this need? I don't know even know where to begin. I think the same thing happens with the overload of information,
Yes.
right? Because it's not just Haiti, it's so many different countries all over the world, including our
Yes.
own, right?
Yes.
So when we have this severe lack of poverty in all areas, where do you begin?
Where do you begin?
Where do you begin? And then, of course, because there's an overload, you are also getting information of nonprofit organizations that have stolen money
Yeah.
or never did what they said they were going to do.
Yes.
And then now you're like, now who do I trust,
exactly.
right? So that happens too, right? So, you know, just in their defense a little bit, I think I'm one of those who had too much information. And I do send money monthly to this organization for a child
Yes,
in India.
yes.
And I'm praying that the money is making it to the family
And
in
that's all you
India.
can do is
and that's
trust
all I
God.
can
Yes.
do, right? But it's the same thing with, I think, everybody else. They probably give a little here and a little there, but they're like, that's all I can do. And it's not true. We can do more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
even I, meeting Sherry, decided that this is the one of the I never am going on a mission trip person am going. And it's because, because I cannot, I just feel like you're doing something for real.
Yeah.
And because you are truly an organization, and I can actually touch you and know that you're doing what you said you're going to be doing, and you are walking the walk. And that's very difficult, though, for people who don't know you.
Yes.
Right? Because then they're looking at you going, yeah, but what are you going to do with our money? You know, are you paying your own mortgage? Or are you paying yourself? And that is not what you're doing at all. You guys have jobs. You work your job so that you can do this for this organization. But if people don't know that about you, it's a little hard to trust, right? Because there's so much information. There's just so much lies too, you know, against people. So you always have to like kind of decipher and get all of that out, right? But this breadfruit thing is amazing. And the way I think about this is, I know that we are kind of just starting this campaign, right? I just want to go every time you guys go because I want to be there 3 years from now when they are harvesting these things. You know, to feed their families and to sell it. And when we're there to purchase something that they've made out of this, right? I need gluten-free because I'm gluten-free. So I need the gluten-free flour is what I'm going to buy. But I would buy that from there because I know where it's going. And that's just an amazing thing, right?
And as you were saying, like, where is it going? And, you know, there is a lot of shadiness with different organizations. I have to say, because Sherry would never say this about herself, but when I met Sherry, which is not that long ago,
I know, and you're so passionate. You're all in. You're all in.
I was hearing her like talk about raising money, and I'm like, well, what'd you do the first time? You know, I never did this before. And she was like, well, the first time we came up a little short with the latrines, so we kept plugging away at it, plugging away. Then I looked at my house and I looked at my husband. I'm like, let's sell it. And I'm like, what?
Okay,
and I'm like, that is awesome.
We did have our house on the market, and I was very scared.
And I'm like, I am going with these people again.
Right?
You know, I'm like, wow.
Yes.
The heart.
Because
that
the
is
heart,
like,
exactly
honestly,
right.
that was one of the most like impactful things. Like, these two were ready to put their house on, or did put their house on the market so that these people in Haiti, who they counted as brothers and sisters, they were willing to give whatever they had on this side of the globe to go over there and like, no, they're gonna go to the bathroom in a latrine, you know. And I just thought
in
that
dignity,
was unbelievable.
Dignity is
with the wall. Dignity is you can't put a price on dignity. You can't.
Awesome.
How many people are on this team of yours? Because you know, this is a big project. So you know,
like in total or like the trip?
No, in total. Like, who do you have working on, or who got, you know, because I know you guys started with the 900 latrines, right?
Yeah.
Are those same people kind of in this also in this phase of it, like in Dominican Republic and Haiti and stuff?
Oh, like the leadership?
Yeah, like the leadership.
Yeah.
And people.
So we still have the leaders. And we meet with them every time on our trip. And now that we have the breadfruit campaign, we'll go down a little bit more.
So they're a part of this too.
Yep. So we have people in Haiti and the Dominican Republic that help us. Here back in the States, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that have helped us through the latrine project and are coming aboard for the breadfruit project. But as far as like running the organization, it's just really, you know, about 5 people.
That's it, huh?
And a really big God.
Yes.
So you didn't talk about, and I do want you to mention, how many trees are you thinking about bringing there? How are you going to get them there? Right?
Good
like
question.
what?
That's a very good question. Well, the number is. Well, the number right now is we're getting 5,000 trees.
5,000 trees. Now, is that part of what God said to you guys when He told you about these breadfruit trees, or is it kind of just a number that came up as you guys saw what was needed, the 5,000?
I think it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think that, you know, as we began to pray, God started opening up ridiculous doors, and people were donating trees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We needed the resources to get them, and we still do. And we need the resources to get them in the ground. And everything is costly. You know, it's costly. It's like we don't even know what we're up against, but we know that we gave them our word, and that we have a really amazing God that's going to just take us through. So we're just waiting for the resources to come in, and as they come in, we're putting in trees.
Right.
So are trees already put in? Any trees at all? Or
4.
Yeah, we have 4 trees in, and then we have the others waiting to be
started.
put in. So when we are there in August, We are
think
looking
300.
at 300 trees coming. So
Really?
they're coming in segments.
I didn't
They're
know
going to
that.
be 300,
That's great.
300.
trees, and then hopefully we can get 500 at a time to come. But the cost to bring the trees from where they are right now to where they need to be planted is something we're raising money for
Got
to
it.
bring them.
And where are they
that's-
in Haiti? Those trees right now, or in
Yes.
Dominican Republic, or
So through this whole
There.
process, I believe Trees That Feed is a nonprofit organization. They
Right.
grow trees, all different kinds of trees, and they are in different countries, but they are in Haiti.
They are in
and
Haiti.
so through a few phone calls and someone from the team reaching out, within like a week, this lady was like, "I'll give you 3,000 breadfruit trees for free." So
I
we
mean-
were like, "Okay, okay, Lord, we're on your plan." So
We're like, whoa, you're going fast.
so it was very fast. So they're in
amazing.
Port-au-Prince, Haiti,
Okay.
which is about an 8 or 10 hour drive.
okay?
From
So you
where
got to
we
get
are.
them from
so
there
we
to
just have
there.
to pick them
Yes.
up.
And I know the terrain is horrific, and there's
Yes.
no paved road, so this is going to be fun.
Yes.
And it's dangerous because of the
Yes.
situation right now in Haiti.
Uh-huh.
In Port-au-Prince, where they are, there's been civil unrest for the last 3 years.
So we
and
need
it's
to
just
be
aggressively getting worse.
In a lot of prayer.
Yes.
So, before we wrap up, I want you to tell people really quickly where they can find you guys to donate to you, okay? Also, not just in money, but articles, right? Because we need like backpacks and all of that is
Yes.
on your website,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we also talked a little bit, or we have personally talked a little bit about adopting a tree, like each person maybe even
Yes.
adopting a
Yes.
tree. So I want you guys to quickly close this out with that information.
Yes, so, you want me to go? Here you go. Okay. So the
So
cost
how
of
do-
a tree with the transportation, the planting with the tree, and the labor is around $75.
That's easy
Yeah.
peasy.
So
Yeah.
we are just looking for people to sponsor a tree, which would help a family, or multiple trees
Yeah.
to be going out. And like we said, we committed to them personally.
Yeah.
We gave them our word. So no matter what happens, we believe that God will provide.
And you're at the 900project.org.
Yes,
.org, yeah.
correct.
.org.
Yep.
And so the way we can spread the word too is I know that you also have a video on YouTube that's
Yes.
just, that's going through this whole discussion of what you are doing.
Yes.
Yes.
And so if people adopt a tree, I mean, we can easily adopt a tree per person in our family. Like, honestly, we spend that in Costco,
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that is a really reasonable number.
Yeah.
$75
Yeah.
for a tree that grows in 3 years, 700
generations.
pounds
Yes.
of fruit for a
Yes.
family
Yes.
Yeah.
and can change the whole landscape and trajectory. I mean, like, that's easy, right?
And there's
So-
also options to, if you want to donate $100 a month, if you want to do $30 a month,
Oh, that's
you can
great.
do that as well.
So there's an auto.
Yes,
There's an.
absolutely.
I didn't know
Website,
that.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good to know.
And all of the money, not 10%,
Yeah.
not 5, every
Yes.
single penny goes to the Haitian
That
people
is
and the trees.
amazing.
Yes, so that's
That's
just
amazing.
something I really want
Yeah.
to.
And
course.
not
Yeah.
known. That's very rare. That's very rare. It's
Yes.
usually, it's like
Yeah.
maybe 20% and
Yeah.
the rest
Yeah,
is
no, this
administration
is-
fees,
No,
right?
there
No,
are
this
no
is-
administration fees.
Yes.
Because you guys are doing it out
This
of your
is-
heart and
yeah,
you're really
yeah.
just depending on people. And we're really hoping that everybody who has seen this segment will realize that 100% of the finances that are raised for this project will go towards these
Yes.
breadfruit trees.
For sure.
So thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming on. I really appreciate it. And I want to have us all back here when we get back from this trip
Okay.
in August, because we can really then talk about what has been done, what's going on with the scholarships, everything like that. So that is phenomenal, and I am
Yes.
really, really, really excited. So this is the 900 Project. Please reach out to them. Please donate to them. It's an amazing organization, and it is the900project.org. So please get on there, whether you want to just adopt a tree, which is $75 a tree. Maybe you can adopt one for you and the kids, you and your husband, whatever you'd like. So again, thank you so much for joining me. This is Neena Perez at Straight Talk, no sugar added. Till next time.